Well, hello everyone. Lordy, it has been a hot day today, girls and boys. Whew, we have been burning up around this house. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I had a wonderful 4th of July. Hope all of you did. I see Jovita has left a message and Jesus is Lord has left me a message. Hello, hello, how are you? Started 1 minute early today. Thought I'd surprise y'all, especially since last week I couldn't get this thing to come up. It would not come up for me to go live for anything. I tried everything I knew to do, guys, everything. And it just would not go live. I tried to do it with my phone and I could bring it up on my phone, but it would not allow the mic or the camera to go to go on it. So I'm going, holy cow. Hello, Aluma. How are you? It is good to see you. I really enjoy your videos, your music videos of different ones that you put out. Yeah, we re-rolled this weekend, guys. I went over to the Alabama Gold Camp. I've talked about it before, and I'll be putting out a video. Hopefully, the fireworks display shows up good with the camera. I tried to do the video and with it, and hopefully it come out good. Let's see, there's a Rebecca. Hello, Rebecca. That's Rebecca Touched by Yarn. And there's New Horizons Above and Beyond. Hey, guys. Glad to see y'all in here. Oh, yeah, talking about my weekend, I left here on Thursday. Went over to the Gold Camp and just hung out, and I laid around in the creek over there like a big old whale. I wallered in it more than I did anything else. Okay. Thank you for popping in, Aloma. Thank you so much for popping in. Leave me that thumbs up when you go out, please. Aloma says that he is feeling sleepy. It's about 2 a.m. at his house. So I can understand him feeling sleepy. Met a lot of new people over at the Gold Camp that I had not met before. I met a fella that is starting a brand new YouTube channel, and when he gets it started, I will let y'all know his channel name and everything. I think his first video is going to be of the Gold Camp. And so he said it was going to be completely new to him, and he had no idea what he was doing, didn't even know what editing platform that he is going to be working on, but that's okay. I told him I didn't know a thing either when I started and don't know a whole lot now. Anyway, but he was really excited about it. He had a drone, and he sent his drone up and did aerial views of the camp and stuff like that I can't do. He said he was really afraid that his drone was supposed to follow him, but it would lag back a long ways and then it would catch up. And he said he was so afraid that it was going to get in the trees or something. He wasn't real used to using it. But he sent it up during the fireworks, and so I'm really hoping he has good fireworks displays from that. I don't know how mine's going to come out because I did it with the GoPro, and sometimes those come out good and sometimes they absolutely do nothing. I have been working on 2 other videos. These are going to be videos about the healing products that are out here in our yard that we see most all the time and don't even think about. So y'all hang in there. I'll try to get those out in the next few days. I've got 2 coming up, and then I'll be doing this Gold Camp one too. So hopefully I will get some out in the next few days, guys. I feel like I got a frog stuck in my throat. Let me get me another sip here. Maybe that'll help some. And guys, I was bit into me a piece of chicken over the weekend, and this filling fell out again. So I've got to get me a dentist appointment. I knew wasn't no point in even calling them. Being it was 4th of July weekend, you could forget about getting into the dentist unless it was just absolute dire emergency. And probably wouldn't get in then unless you knew the guy's home phone number. Hey, there's Musgrove Farm. Hello, hello. How are you? Glad to see y'all in here. Met this family at the meetup. It was great. anyway, I just thought I'd tell y'all a little bit about that and a little bit about a vacation that Joey and I are trying to get up. Boy, this van is blowing cold air on me. Whew, blowing it right up my arm. Moved the chair over the vent so it wouldn't freeze me to death, guys. Anyway, yeah, we're wanting to go out to the West Coast, and we're wanting to go all the way out and do the whole coastal road up through there, right? The beachfront road, I guess is what you would call it on the West Coast. And we're wanting to do it. And Joey has always wanted to see the salt flats in the Utah. And when we went out to the West Coast last time, we just rushed out there and, you know, kind of rushed through. And so we did not go up to up to where the salt flats are. So we're going to try to cover that this time, and a few of the other stops that we really would have liked to have done. You know, we did the corner of Winslow, Arizona, and that was a lot of fun. We took lots of pictures there and all, and I'll have to post some sometimes. And I will be posting a lot of pictures and a lot of things along the way for y'all on this trip when we get it all planned out. I think what we're going to do is we're going to fly out to Vegas. Maybe spend one evening in Vegas because it's not a big thing for us. If I do any gambling at all, it's usually blackjack, and you know, not a big deal if I don't win, and a big deal if I do. You know how that goes. So then we'll rent a vehicle from there, and then go up the coast. You know, from there go up. Probably hit Utah, going up, and hit a few other things that we've wanted to see. I would like to see Scotty's Castle out there. Don't know exactly where it is. I'm going to have to look it up, but it is a castle that someone built. And if you guys want to look it up, you can. The old guy named Scotty was the caretaker of the place, but he would go to the bar and he drank a lot, and he told everybody it was his place. And he'd have big parties out there and get-togethers, and had some very prominent people that would come out there. And actually, it wasn't his. He was just the caretaker of it the whole time. When we went last time, I really wanted to see it, but it was being not remodeled, but a lot of upkeep from storms had caused a lot of damage, and they were doing a lot of upkeep on it. So they had it closed during that time period we were out there. So that's one of the places that I want to see. They said it's just a magnificent place. You would not believe. So I'm excited about that. I've already seen the petrified forest and that kind of thing. Saw the Needle out there in Vegas. You know, it's supposed to be the hottest spot ever, whatever, recorded, whatever. Saw that. So I saw a lot of things, but there's a lot more things I'd like to see out that way. So we're just going to rent a vehicle and just ride and go and not have a whole lot of plans. So if you guys know of anything really spectacular that you think we would enjoy out that way, let us know. I would like to walk on the beach and try to find some beach glass. I don't know if I'll be able to or not. And I don't know where I could find any yet, but they say there's quite a bit out that way. Let's see. I'm trying to think of what else is going on around here. Oh, I did got a little short video that I'm going to try to get out tomorrow. It's in there. I just have not edited it out. You know how this is. I get on these strikes where I just say to heck with it. I'm not doing it. I absolutely hate editing, guys. I hate it. So I've been on strike. But I do have some English cucumbers coming off from the seeds that Jennifer Ocean Homestead sent me from her seed company. I planted those, and I planted some peppers, but the peppers just did not make it. They came up. Almost all of them came up, but they just never growed. They just came up and stood there. So I don't know what was the deal on that. I had the very same fertilizer and everything that I used everywhere else. And my crookneck yellow squash are not doing well either. So I don't know what the deal is. But we've got the regular cucumbers from some that I planted that I got from Paul at Paul Honeyman. And so I got those, and I've been getting those. In fact, I've put up a batch of sweet pickles from those. I'm excited about that because we were down to about, might have had 2 jars left out of all of them that I put up last year. So that was a good deal. We're glad to get those. Let's see. Did I miss anybody? Don't think so. Okay. Get to running my mouth and don't pay attention, y'all. Sorry about that. But we've been working on that. Guys, I went to the grocery store today. And I mean, I didn't get nothing. I got a watermelon, 2 jugs of orange juice, 2 jugs of milk, a watermelon, some laundry detergent, and it was $63. I mean, it's just unbelievable what groceries cost now. So if there's any way you can substitute your food line nowadays, you just about have to. It's just unbelievable what stuff costs. Of course, the laundry detergent on its own was like $16. You know, my God. But like I say, I've got a video on sweet gum trees, and you'll be surprised at what all sweet gums are good for. Sweet gum trees are good for, other than breaking windows from the balls being slung out from your lawnmower. Havita says it is ridiculous how much laundry detergent costs. I know, and if you buy the cheap stuff, it don't half work. So you might as well go on and break down and buy the other. Thank God at least I've got that is 1 container will last me quite a long time if I go ahead and bite the bullet and get it. You know, it's just ridiculous. New Horizon says he's been trying to work on his watch hours since May 17th. Situations happened with the family members and friends, so now I'm working much harder on YouTube here lately. All right. But so you guys, I'm sure if you are subscribed to him already, try to play a few of his videos and let's get his watch hours in there. Also was told about a YouTube channel that's already going on, and I've not checked it out. But from what I understand, he's supposed to be pretty funny and pretty good. The name of it is Wok Frog. Hey. So I have no idea about it, but I'm going to go and check it out. And if I like it, I will let you all know about it. This is the fellow that I met at the Gold Camp was telling me about it. And this is who is going to help him get started with his videos and all. So I said, well, I'll check them out. So I'm going to check them out and we'll see how it goes, guys. Also, took Casper with me on the trip, and he did absolutely fantastic. He did escape one time and ran and jumped right up in the truck with somebody that I've never seen before in my life. Like he belonged in his vehicle. He had the door open. Whatever, I don't know. You know, the little thing he just loves everybody. And he met several little kids, and they were 2 little twins, guys, 2 little girls, and they were the cutest things. I wish I had had my phone and had video of them. But they just thought Casper hung the moon, and they were just oohing and ahhing and grinning and trying to pet him and everything else. It was so funny. Then there were several other little girls that wanted to lead him, you know, wanted to walk him on the leash. Well, he wouldn't walk unless I walked. So they held the leash and I had to walk so Casper would go with them. Thought that was kind of funny. But they're at the Gold Camp every year on 4th of July weekend. They have a huge meal that they furnish for you. The same day as the fireworks. This year they had grilled chicken, and you had like a huge section of chicken, like almost half a chicken. And then they had potato salad and green beans and baked beans and macaroni salad. And I mean, everything that you could imagine, all the fixings, all the condiments to go with it, all kinds of desserts. And other things too, not just those things, snap beans, green beans, just unbelievable food that those people served. And you talk about some good eating. People were lined up to get to the food, guys. I got tickled. Somebody had brought strawberry shortcake, and they were real strawberry shortcake, not the ones, like you buy it. Hey, Arlene, how are you? Yeah, not like the ones that, I normally see, the little bought ones or whatever. This was fresh stuff. They were so good that there were people that were getting out of line to get the dessert before they got their food so that they would get in on the strawberry shortcake. So by the time I got there was no strawberry shortcake. I missed out. I should have got out of line too. I just didn't. I figured I could do without. You know how that goes. But anyhow, didn't lose an ounce, guys. Nibbled and drank tea and sweet tea and everything else the whole darn weekend. Couldn't help it. But Casper and I laid up there at night in there with a radio playing and watching people outside ride by. There were a million people there with side-by-sides or whatever you call those, four-wheel dirt bike, dirt things, that people ride through dirt and back trails and all that on. But there were a ton of them, and somebody there at the camp took a bunch of those people on a ride on all the dirt roads around there. So I know that was fun for the people there. And I bet there were 15 or so on that one ride. So just following the leader, because I was going to go somewhere and I was sitting there and I said, where does this road go to? And they said, I don't know. We're just following the leader. We're following him. And so I started asking them about every fourth or fifth one. I'd say, where does this road run into or come to? They said, I don't know. We're just following them. So I guess it's like the fiddler with the mice, in Europe or whatever. I guess they could have let them right on to hell. I don't know. It was just so funny because nobody knew where they were going. They were just riding, having a good old time, I guess. But they were having fun. There were a lot of kids there. And the creek was up just enough that all the kids were floating. There were a lot of grandparents there floating down on, they had like big round floats, and the kids were floating, grandparents were floating by with them. I mean, they just had a wonderful time, guys. I did not float by, but I did waller out there in the water quite a bit. I did a little bit of panning. Didn't even set my sluice up. I got my sluice out, and the water was running a little bit too much for that particular sluice. And where I was at, I couldn't find a rock big enough to anchor it down without squishing it. And so I just said, to heck with it. I'm just going to play in the water. And I had a lot more fun doing that. There was one lady there that did not realize they had garnets in the water. And when she found out, she was picking all the little garnets out of the water. And little teeny tiny garnets that weren't big as pinheads. And I got tickled and I told her, I said, hon, those garnets are going to just dissolve when you try to polish them. They're not big enough to polish. Everything won't be a garnet there by the time it's polished down. And she just couldn't believe it. So I found her a couple of garnets, and I found her a host rock that had garnets in it. So she was thrilled about that. But we just I had a wonderful time. It was just me and Casper, and we laid up there and just enjoyed it. There was no internet, no phone service. So we were just relaxing and having a good time, guys. I hope all of y'all had as good a 4th of July vacation as I did, because that one was very relaxing and very just laid back, I guess. Didn't have any stress. Just hung out. I did take my tablet and I played my card games that I play on it, solitaire and spider and all that kind of stuff. Matching, pick 5 or whatever. The things that I could watch with no internet. Now I could have went on up the hill a little bit probably and picked up internet, but it wasn't worth it for me. I kind of like the privacy, being down there and just relaxing and forgetting about everything. So let's see, guys. I'm going to be putting out a video on a cake that I make, and you guys may have tried this. I'm going to tell you about it. It's a pineapple cake, and so I'm going to be doing a video on that. It'll be coming out real soon too. So if you've never had a pineapple cake, it is a super moist cake, and everybody that's tried it here has loved it, which was kind of surprising when I first started making it. So hope y'all all like that. And y'all kick in there and check it out. I know on my videos my eyes are always squinched up like this, but it's because the sun is so doggone bright, guys. It just kills my eyes. Even though I had surgery on this one, and I'm not getting the stabbing pains that I was getting in it before, and it was from certain way the light was hitting it and it was reflecting back and causing that pain. So they did get that part solved. I've only had the stabbing pain one time since I had it done, and it did not last like the other did. So that was a good thing. But you know how it is. It's just always something, guys. Always something. Well, I don't know where my friend Weed is. They may be going on them a camping vacation. She goes a lot of times with family, and they go down to Florida and also down toward Panama City, Florida, Destin, Florida, Pensacola, all those areas down in there. And they just have a good old time. So I have no clue where they are, have not talked to her, but I'm sure they're having a good time wherever they may be. I come home and my rose bushes are stripped from the bottom up to as high as the little white and black goat can eat. Little devil had done got out and eat all my rose bushes, eat all the leaves off my rose bush while I was gone, a little heathen. So I told Joey that I'm going to go to the pet store. And, they have these collars that blow up that you can put around your dog's neck to keep them from chewing on themselves, like if they have surgery or stitches or whatever. Well, I'm going to see if I can find a solid collar like that instead of the blow-up kind at the pet store. I've already looked online and have not found one yet. So, and if I can find one, I'm going to put it on that little goat so that she'll quit coming through the fence. A little heathen. Still have not found the 4 little girls that disappeared. They're just gone, I guess. Sure is sad, though. Every time I think about it, I was looking at some little shorts that I had done of them. It just makes you want to cry seeing them all gone. But let's see what else is going on in our life around here. The watermelon we got was just a small watermelon, and it came from Aldi's, and it was probably a foot in length, watermelon, and by almost, if you measure it around, it'd probably be almost as round as it was long. But you talking about sweet, oh my God, it was a good one. And I'm going to save some seeds. I bet you anything that it's hybrid and it won't grow. You know how that goes. Anytime you find something that good, it's hard to find. I did find me a Japanese persimmon tree, but they want $80 for it, guys. $80. I just could not break myself down to get it. If it's still there this fall, I am hoping that they will discount it and I can get it then. Because really, if you put it out right now, it will be so hot that you would just about have to water it every single day to keep a tree like that alive. And then it would be hard. So I just said I'm going to pass on it, and hopefully they'll have a reduction, so 20% off or 30% off, something to help out. No, have not found out what happened to the baby goats. They just up and disappeared. I still feel like someone got them because we've not found nothing. I mean, absolutely nothing. You would think even if some other critter got them, you would have found some fur or something. $80. I wouldn't trust myself with a tree. Oh, Lordy. Well, $80 is a lot. But if you think about it, most of them that I've heard about cost around $60 or $65. So really, that's not that much for the tree. It's just a lot more than I want to pay for it. Let's put it that way. I did look. There's Outdoors with Big Matt. Hello. How are you? Good to have you here. Yeah, $80 is not a lot. It is a lot. It's a lot for my pocketbook. Let's put it that way. But it's not a lot for that particular tree. And the one that I found, I bet it had 25 pieces of fruit on it that were already like tangerine size or bigger. So these suckers, they're really good. And the thing about these is you can eat them any time of the year. You can eat them while they're solid green. You can eat them while they're turning yellow. You can eat them after they turn completely pink and get real soft. I mean, you can eat them firm. They're good. All the times there'll be a little bit different taste, but they're not bitter like the persimmons, that we have here in the United States. These persimmons are Fuji. I think Fuji is the scientific or the species name of this particular Japanese persimmon. And they're really good. Joey really likes them. A friend of mine has several trees. And thought about just planting some seeds from it. But, you never get the same thing from the seed that you get. Oh, and by the way, the wind destroyed the last of my air grafted plum trees that I had. I only had one that I saw that had taken root already. And so I am really disappointed about that. In fact, we lost the old peach, the peach tree that had been here since I was a little girl when my grandparents owned this place. And so I guess it was past due for it to go, but I sure did hate to lose it because they didn't get very big, but boy, they were so sweet. And the chickens had gotten to where they were getting up in the trees and pecking them. So they were just about ready. But my little peach tree that I planted down at my daughter's property is loaded down with peaches, and they are not ready yet. But oh my God, they look so good. So I can't wait. I'm waiting and waiting and waiting. They're starting to turn pink colored. So they won't be long now. The lady who has the Garden Answers channel plants 100,000 plus trees. Well, she has over 2 million subscribers, so she can swing it. Woo! Lord, she's got more patience and time and energy than I do. Boy, this red clay, I'm telling you, you just about have to have it was like digging through concrete, just digging these holes out here to put our little stoop and back door steps in. So you can imagine, guys, it was so hard. The clay here is baked and it just cracks open because it gets so darn terribly, I don't know, just hard, I guess. That's what they make pottery out of, believe me. But I don't know. There's Jovita's laughing at me about something. Probably about them digging all them holes. I'm telling you. Now I'm getting old because I used to dig and post holes and not think too much about it. But boy, howdy. My butt can't keep no wind. And I'm sweating like a dog. Sweating like a dog out there. And I feel like I've been run over with a garden hose, except it ain't cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm not getting any fun out of getting sprayed. I'm getting wet and it ain't fun wet. Oh, yes. Oh, but let's see. Prayers for the victims of the Central Texas floods. Yes, I sent a message to a friend of mine that lives out that way and have not heard back from him. He is a nurse, RN, emergency nurse, whatever you want to call it, and I've not heard from him. So I don't know if he's just super busy or if it flooded there where he actually lives, at his actual town. So I've been real worried about them, thinking about him and his daughter. They used to come and go camping with me a lot. And when he was in the military and got stationed, well, he was stationed in Afghanistan and Iran or wherever when I first met him, but he was coming in. We were going over to the Go Camp to ride horses on all the dirt roads and back trails over there. And he was there just for something to do, on his days off because he didn't know nobody. So we met him over there, and his daughter loved horses and loved to ride and still does. And so anyway, that's how we met. And his daughter and my youngest granddaughter hung out together a lot. And so he and her would come and camp with us, and we all just had a good old time. It reminded me of the good old days there at the campground. Thought about them. I don't think anybody, not anybody that I saw anyway, and I ran around and talked to most everybody there at the Go Camp, found any pickers this weekend, which is start. Let's see. Parts of North Carolina is flooded again and needs prayers too. I know that's right. Yeah, it is. It's so sad. All the people that are, losing everything. I mean, it is so sad. They said that the death toll in Texas is already over 100. And from the last I heard, they still had 10 people missing from that camp where the little girls were missing. I don't know how many of those. I think there was only one adult that was still missing from there, and the rest of them were kids. So it's just so sad. I mean, isn't that something? You send your child to camp to have fun, and then you get that call and you wonder, why did I do it? Hey, Rainy Ridge, how are you? It's good to see you. That's okay. I'm just glad to see you come in, girl. Yeah, those people in North Carolina and in those areas, honey, I feel so sorry for those people. It just seems like that they just can't get a break. And even out there in Texas, there's a tornado or a forest fire or something going on out there all the time. It's just unbelievable. But Tina, I thought about you the other day. I was at Hobby Lobby and I was looking at all the pouring stuff, and I was thinking, I wonder if I could do this and make it look as good as you guys make it. It scared me to death to think about it. That stuff is not cheap. I guess if you buy it in bulk, maybe you could get it a little bit cheaper as far as doing big projects. I don't know. This flooding breaks my heart. I almost can't bear watching the news. I know it. It's just terrible. And when I was looking at the views there in Texas, it almost brought back all those memories from North Carolina, guys. Of all the trees and the houses and just the devastation, it's just so it's just devastating. It just tears you up inside to think about it. I mean, how do you feel? All of a sudden you're here and you're happy, and then you go to bed and you wake up and you don't have a thing. If you wake up. And sometimes you wake up and you don't know where your partner is that was sleeping next to you the night before. I mean, it's just a horrible thing to think about. Those children, it just tears me up with the children, guys. I'll be crying here in a minute. I need to hush. Or you got little drops coming. But yeah, it just tears me up to think about it. But yes, it is terrible. It's a terrible thing. Yep, Tina. I would have to pass on that, because I would have to come with somebody that does it on a regular basis and learn how to do it, so that I would not be just wasting the stuff, and getting it mixed just so and all that, and making it work just right. And when you do it, you make it look so easy. Flooding is how I lost my mama in 2013 on her way to work. It is very hard to see these families. I think that's what it says. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry. Tina, that's a terrible thing. We have a neighbor that lives just right on the corner here, and his wife left home. She left home and got hit by the train, the very train track right up the road here. I mean, it's just so sad. You just don't know. We never know when our last breath or when our last moment or what we're going to say to people, So let's try not to say anything negative. We all do, and we all say things and do things that we shouldn't, and regret. So, I just think about these families, and how hard it must be for them. sitting there and wondering, they found a child. Is it my child? But anyway. Oh, I gotta quit talking about this. But anyhow, that would be a horrible thing, Tina. I can imagine. It would be every time you see something like that, it would bring back all of those memories all over again. I can't even imagine. Yeah, that girl, that her mother passed from the train track. She didn't stop. She didn't stop and look. And I always look, whether that arm is down or the lights are flashing or what. It just scares me. Tina says she deals with it, but seeing all of the devastation breaks her heart. And I know she went quick and didn't have to suffer. Well, that's really all we can ask for. Oh. Jovita is posting Rebecca's channel, you guys. And if you've not already subscribed to Rebecca, she is a wonderful person, her and her brother. She takes care of her brother and he takes care of her, and she does some beautiful work. I have really enjoyed the little scrubbers that she makes and have purchased some extra ones from her and given them to my daughter and grandkids, and they all like them. So if you guys are interested in that kind of stuff, go over and check her out. Jovita says she is the queen of yarn. And she's like, say, she has got a great personality. So we all need to go check out her and Donald and her channel, guys. Trying to think of what else is going on around this house, y'all. Went and did all my dastardly deeds today. I went to pay my cable bill. Well, actually, it's my internet bill. I don't have cable. Went to pay my internet bill today. They will not take cash. We live in America. Guys, you can't pay with cash anymore. I understand, because so many people steal. It's just sad that you go somewhere and they say, oh, we can't take that. You have to go over here to the Dollar General and buy you a card if you don't have any kind of card, because there were several people that came in and they just said, we don't have a credit card. We don't have a checking account, whatever, And, especially older people, they once a month they get their check and they go pay their bills, and, they cash their check and go around and pay their bills. And it's the way they've always done it. And they think it ought to be that way still. And I mean, one little man, he was really being out of shape. And he says, I may just cancel mine. And I understand how he feels. I really do. Yes. She's posted Tina and Eric's Rainy Ridge channel. Guys, they do excellent, excellent work. I know it. That's what I said too. If you can't pay cash for something, something is not right. Back when I was a kid, they claimed that everybody was going to get this chip put in them, and that's how you were going to pay for everything. That was the mark of the beast. Well, I don't know, but it looks like it's getting closer and closer. They're already talking about doing away with the dollar bill. Reckon that'll happen anytime soon. And they're always talking about the banks are fixing to fold again, a bunch of banks. So God help us if that happens. There's going to be a lot of people in this country that's going to nut up if that happens, including me, guys, including me. Yeah, you would think. Tina said they went to Bronson a while back and went into a store and they wouldn't take cash. I understand because, like I say, we were talking about, and there's so many people that steal nowadays. And if you got it in a credit card, but it's just like Joey says, he said, I had to put the card in the card reader at the gas station 4 different times before it would read it. And I said, did you check it and see if it was wiggling? He said, what do you mean? I said, you always check it and make sure it's something ain't right. I said, they might have a card reader on it. So I got out and checked, and there was not a card reader on there that I could find anyway. but it just scares you to death. And, if all your money ends up being in Bitcoin or in credit or on a chip somehow, they got the little chips on your credit cards now. If all your money was there and they've got card readers that can read those things that slide right over them, what's going to happen to these people like me or most of us, that live. I mean, thank God we don't live paycheck to paycheck, but there's a lot of people do. And I would hate to know I'd lost a few paychecks. You know what I'm saying? So if your chip got read and somebody took all the money you had, are they going to cut your electricity off when it's 100 degrees outside? Are they going to cut your water supply off? Because most people don't have a well like I have. Nowadays, it's just sad to think about it. Yeah, I always check those card readers at the gas stations and everything. Make sure they're not loose. Make sure that it pull on a little bit. Make sure it's not going to pop off of there. I mean, they even in other countries, guys, they have signs that warn you do not use your card at random places because there are so many people that are stealing money, especially from people that are tourists, like that. And God knows if you want to get a money exchanged from American currency to, say, German or the euro or whatever, the franc or whatever over there, you better go to the bank, because if you don't, they're going to charge you outrageous charges to cash in. You get $100 or $500 or whatever cashed in, and then they charge you to cash it in. Then they charge you to give you back cash when you go to leave, guys. So if you do that, remember that, and use your card in reputable places and always check them. Yes, it's not just for Americans. Havitas is living paycheck to paycheck is a way of life. There are so many people in this country, especially, that live way beyond their means. They know they're living beyond their means. And why they do it, I don't know. If it's keeping up with the Joneses, people used to say, I don't think it's that. I think that we have lived, this country is so new, considering, all the other countries, that people just don't realize, that all of it could come to an end tomorrow, guys. It could come to an end, and then what are you going to do? If you went to work today and worked through your shift and everything was great, and then you went back on Monday and they called you in the office, says, we don't have a job for you anymore, or the plant's shutting down, or the bank shutting down, or whatever the case. I mean, what are you going to do? There's nothing you can do. You go home, you try to find another job. And in that case, if it's a plant, like a big plant like Duracell or something, they have 1,000 or more, or the Kia plant over here, we all got 1,000 or more employees. You think about, there's 1,000 people out there looking for a job that lost their jobs just like that. I mean, they're going to hire the cream of the crop, right off the bat, before they hire us peons and the ones that are just the hourly workers, or, whatever, the janitors, or the material handlers, the ones that don't have that education behind their jobs. So it is really sad. Yeah. Havita says we live in a society where we are accustomed to spending without much thought. That's exactly right. Jesus is Lord says the gospel singer Lily Isaacs was scammed out of $10,000 over the phone last week. Holy cow. Well, if she had $10,000 she could get scammed out of. She was better off than me, guys. Bless her heart. I hate it for her. Well, nowadays you got all these things, and they'll say, I get these emails all the time, and it says, a quick note from Trump, or a survey. The Democratic Party wants you to do a survey, or the Republican, whatever. You don't know whether to open them anymore, because there are so much scammers out there. They'll send out these things about Temu, and people go in there and order, and then it's not Temu. They're just sending their money to somebody that's faking, it's not a business. It's not anything. It's a scam. And I mean, these people are getting very elaborate with it. Yes, the most of what scams, Tina's saying that most of the scams that they say are by phone. And it's really sad, Anytime you're going to go spend money, please, 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 check it out, especially if it's something like that. They have got a thing now where they will call people and they record you and they get you to say all these things, and then they will call your family, your mother, your grandparents, somebody, and tell them, and they will play your voice back to them, and they will have it edited in there just so to where it looks like they're saying, please help me, I'm out of gas, or whatever, I need some money, whatever. And these people are giving them money and they're just throwing it away. It's just a sad thing. What people would spend half the time that they spend coming up with these dang scams trying to work a real honest job, the whole country would be a whole lot better off. But it's so much easier to go out here and sell a few drugs and make $50 or $100 than it is to work 10 hours to make that $100. It's just a sad state of affairs that this country has gotten into. Mark Lowry had an interview with one of the Lily daughters explaining what happened to her mama. Oh, man. They conned her into taking it from her savings account and putting it into her checking. Oh, man. Obviously, somebody had some access somehow or another to the checking account, and that's how they knew that when they got her to move it, that they could snatch it out right away, I guess, guys. But it's a sad thing. Oh, Avita says she blocks them, and she's been blocking the same scam for years now, and none of their threats have come to fruition. Thank God for that, huh, girl? Yeah, I have these folks that I had this one guy that called, and they pretended like they were the Publishers Clearinghouse, and I had won all this money, but they wanted me to send them, $50 or something, or $100, and then, you agree to that, and then they keep talking, and then they can guarantee your money will be sent overnight if you'll do an insurance trust or whatever of $500 or whatever for them to send your 10 million or whatever you're supposed to do. It's just ridiculous. So I know exactly what you're talking about. And there's so many people that will fall for that. We had a guy that I worked with, bless his heart, he was a material handler. And he absolutely thought he had won the Publishers Clearinghouse, because you get those letters in the mail that says you have won. And I mean, he was spending money left and right. He was just determined that he had won, and all of us were looking at it and said, "No, you haven't won. Look," and trying to show him, and he just was. He ended up in all kinds of trouble, guys. He owed everybody in the world before it was over with. He had done went to the furniture stores and bought him new furniture, top of the line stuff. And I mean, just unreal, because people are not educated and are not reading the fine print on these things, It's just really sad. I think, I really think the government should crack down on this. And you can call the local sheriff's departments and police departments. You know what they say? We hear about that all the time. You can make a report if you want to, but there's not a whole lot we can do about it. And it's the truth. There's not a whole lot they can do about it. So we try to get the numbers at work and call back and harass them. At least we try to tie them up there tie up their time. Well, that's what I did with the guy from Publishers Clearinghouse. I told him, I says, well, I'll have to talk to my husband about this. Can I call you back, or can you call me back at such and such a time? So when he called me back, I said, I would sit there and I would act like I was asking Joey and tell him, man, I had that poor guy on the phone for over 2 hours. He was so pissed when he finally figured out what I was doing. So most of them are from overseas, you know. True. And nowadays you've got the medical scammers too that are calling you and they're going, oh, you have Medicare or you have Medicaid or whatever it is, especially for older people, you have Medicare because you got this, you know, Advantage Select, Medicare Advantage Select, or whatever it is that people get. Okay, so now they're saying you have qualified for this back brace or you qualify for this and we want to send it out to you. Well, they want you to say, okay, you know, because then they get to charge you. Well, it's just ridiculous. I tell them I don't need a back brace. I don't need a knee brace. My back is fine. If I couldn't get up out of the bed, I'd tell them the same thing, you know. It's all just a darn scam. Havita says most of them are from Nigeria. There must be, let's see, it's a scam for some collection agency about back taxes. And I'm currently on my taxes and have all the receipts. They have threatened to arrest me at work, blah, blah. Bless your heart. Oh, Vita, you know, they say that the IRS will not contact you. That's a good thing to know. They will not call you. You will receive a registered letter if they're going to come after you, but not always. A friend of mine owns a company now that owned her, that she worked for the boss of it. The boss had not paid taxes on that business forever. And the IRS came in and got him. But I mean, they knew about it for years and years and years before they did anything about it. You know, if they would just act on the things that they do know about, they could solve a lot of things. It's just like taxes. You know, they had a big write-up in the paper about all the businesses that will not pay their city taxes or their, you know, taxes like we all have to pay our darn taxes every year. Well, you know, they come after us little folks, but these big businesses ain't paid their taxes in years, and they're not after them. You know, why not? You're going to get more money out of them. Leave these little peons alone. Work on these big folks. You know, I know, you know, that everybody needs to pay their fair share. But my God, some of us pay more than our fair share, I feel like. I received a letter in the mail just the other day, said my taxes is going way up. Yeah, again. Holy moly. That's just what I need. Tell them to come get you because you're tired and could use a break while someone else cooks for you and does your laundry. Really, really, really. You know, laughing about that, that's not funny. A lot of people that are homeless will do some little minute something to get themselves in jail during wintertime so that they will have a place to go that is warm. And they have caught on to it. And in these higher, colder climate places, they've caught on to the ones that seem to suddenly get in jail over, you know, minute something, you know. Excuse me, my face is itching. But over money things, and you know, it's a sad thing that people feel like they have to do that. Rainy Ridge says, laugh out loud. We've told them that that's great. Really? Well, girl, are you still working for the sheriff's department or police department in your area? I'm assuming you are. I record of jaywalking. Yeah, anything. I mean, they will even, you know, they've even been known to throw a window in a department store, break a window, you know, just to get arrested. Not even enter the place, you just be hanging out. So they get arrested and they say, yeah, it was me. And they send them, you know, they don't can't pay the fine. So they get 30 days in jail or 90 days in jail. Well, they go to jail and they're too old to do any work. You know, what are they going to do? You know, I mean, you're going to sit there, you're going to pay for them, you're going to pay for their medical, you're going to buy them clothes to put on. It may not be the clothes they want, but if you're homeless, It's better than no clothes, and you got some heat. You got a place to sleep, lay down besides out there in the woods or on the sidewalk. You know, it's not a bad deal. Think about it. Rainy Red says, yes, 20 years, and she is ready to retire. I bet you are. I still crack up every time I watch your video. That's all the excuses of people that call in. If y'all have not watched that video, check that one out. It is absolutely hilarious. Oh, and we're always told that crime don't pay. And maybe it pays better. Maybe why so many people do it. Oh, Rainy Ridge says that once the farm sells, she's out. I can understand, honey. I understand. Well, guys, it is about 5 minutes till the end of y'all gonna get to cut out and get away from listening to me tonight. Sadly, most of them are true. Isn't that the truth? That's the truth. You know, and sadly, you know, a lot of the people that are out there, not all of them, don't quote me on this, but a lot of the people are former military and people that have been out in business and have degrees and that have just burnt out. And, you know, their families have disowned them or their wives have divorced them. The kids don't have nothing to do with them because, you know, whatever reason, no real reason, you know. And they just have no desire to get back out there and try again, you know. And it's a sad world that we're living in. But guys, if you have not, try to be nice to people because, like I say, this is a crazy old world we live in. You can't drive down the road now without somebody shooting a bird at you or rolling their window down and cussing you out or whatever. It's just so sad. I saw a commercial or a video yesterday, and I cracked up. It had the Beverly Hillbillies going down the road, and supposedly they cut them off. And this guy in a sports car pulls up next to him and shoots him a bird. Well, they all shoot him a bird. And then he pulls out his pistol and aims them at him. And then Grandpa gets up with his shotgun and says, oh, I like that. Look, this is what I use. You know, I could just see that happening, you know. But anyway, folks, be nice to yourselves. Be nice to, because if you can't love yourself, nobody else is going to be able to love you. So you guys, y'all be sweet. We will see y'all all next week, and I will try to get out a video. I've just really been burned out, guys, and so hopefully I can get back into this and get going again. I'm going to be lost all my watch hours if I don't hurry up and do something. So love y'all. Y'all be sweet, and we will see y'all all next week on Monday. Hopefully, if I get this dang computer to work again. Bye, y'all. Jesus, there was a lady sitting on her porch in Albany, Georgia, was shot in her head. Oh my God. Whew.